We already have it, but if you'd give us your name, we'll give you 5 minutes.
Brian Evans. The Springfield Park Ranger program received national honors last year. So what set them apart from our proposed rangers? They patrol the park systems, but also when they hear a call for service, they stop to assist law enforcement. That is because the park rangers are trained law enforcement officers not limited to the parks, as they provide backup to the police, sheriffs, schools, airport, and other agencies. Currently, as written, the Joplin Parks Rangers will only provide information to visitors, check park conditions, look at needed repairs, and patrol to help the citizens get the appearance of security, which equates to a false sense of security for our public and the officers themselves, the rangers. If we want to make a real difference, we need to make sure we fully fund our JPD, and if we want to create a park ranger program, we should model something like the Springfield program, where they're trained law enforcement and can assist during a crisis. Meanwhile, we should also work to ensure that psychiatric patients who are bused into Joplin's Freeman East Psychiatric Unit, which I found out about recently, from other cities, are returned home rather than discharged directly onto our streets, into our community, leaving them homeless, nowhere to turn, pushing them to drugs, alcohol, and crime. Perhaps we should also prosecute or deal with the panhandling issue, some of whom are actually defrauding the residents, taking from those truly in need, the homeless, claiming that some of them are claiming that the funds are being raised for ill children on the side of our streets and then pocketing the money. Why has this council not addressed our skyrocketing panhandling crisis, with panhandlers causing dangerous, busy intersections with moving cars, and now homeless even setting up tents on roadways such as 15th and Rangeline, hurting our small businesses? I've had several call. Sadly, our city has been weak on public safety in the last few years, which is a primary responsibility of any city government. Other cities have implemented efforts to curb these dangerous practices, promoting efforts to end homelessness and the inhumane, unacceptable, and dire conditions that it brings to a city, so why don't we? Meanwhile, we've given out tens of millions of dollars in tax breaks to multi-million-dollar corporations, yet little to our local small businesses here in town who need our help. For example, Casey's Corporation, who got a 20-year, multi-million-dollar tax abatement in exchange for 125 jobs, as it turns out. Meanwhile, with our nearly non-existent unemployment rate, your tax breaks on corporations are stealing jobs from our local small businesses employee pool, our largest job provider, leading to local business owners not being able to staff their businesses, cutting days and hours, causing them to lose profits and hurting their bottom line, leading to potential failure. Why won't we fight for our local residents and their small businesses as hard as we do for these multi-million-dollar, multi-billion-dollar out-of-state and overseas corporations? These are issues that the people of Joplin truly care about and that they are demanding answers to. Therefore, for these reasons, I've recruited dozens of people to help our fellow citizens, including fellow citizens and experts, to find answers. In doing so, we have unearthed hundreds of concerning documents from city financials in an effort that started out as a way to find money for our first responders, but evolved into something much larger. The only response we've gotten so far was when Mr. Stinnett called out our efforts as misinformation, which we're still waiting for a response from him that he said he would get to me. Perhaps that's because the evidence comes directly from the city records, putting the facts on our side. Sadly, even the listeners on KZRG's Morning with the Mayor, which this isn't about you, Mayor, this is about the news station, were told by the show's host last month they should ignore our findings, adding that we should simply trust our government, and instead of demanding accountability, we should run for office so we can, quote, become part of the problem. However, we don't want anyone to become a part of the problem. Instead, we want our leaders to fix these problems that are plaguing our residents daily. In truth, I have personally started this effort to find money for our first responders, but it is the courageous citizens of this city who are helping me help you, as they have done more than you could possibly imagine to make Joplin safe, strong, and accountable. They have done the media's job and your job for no pay and no credit. Questioning leadership is a cornerstone in the preservation of our republic and in safeguarding our way of life, regardless of what level of government it is or what political ideology has the reins of power. Therefore, our team assembled a bipartisan coalition who are garnering signatures required to initiate an audit as we speak. I've already submitted and discussed over 200 documents with the state in preparation, and we have more that we're going over with them currently. I have prayed over this, and the decision to initiate this was not made lightly. So I want one thing understood. This isn't about you, nor is it about me, but it's about the people of Joplin This is about transparency and accountability, fiscal responsibility, and public safety, which entails giving full measure in responding to the needs of our police and fire departments, thus answering the pleas of our citizens. That's all.
Thank you, Mr. Evans. Thank you.
Thank you.
Public hearings.
It is requested that persons wishing to testify before the City Council follow these